Hello, and thank you for tuning in. Today's video will be about my username, where it derived from, how I put it together, and what it really means to me. So let's get right into the video details. Okay, my username is LuLuABlessedSurvivor for those who know what it is already, and those who don't, that's what it is. And I originally wanted to go by Beautifully Blessed Survivor, and it was nothing to do with the vanity of beauty. It was just the beauty of the blessing of surviving and, being able to overcome some things. And that's where the name came from. So I ended up just going with Lulu because Lulu means someone or something outstanding, and it's also a word that is associated with beauty. So that's why I chose Lulu, a blessed survivor. And the reason I feel so blessed and to be a survivor, there are many, many, many things, many times and many instances where your life could be over in a split second because things happen so fast. But it was in 2005 where I actually struck at the age of 20 years old, head on by a car as a pedestrian. And I sustained some injuries that, are going to be with me always. And I feel like those disabilities that I now have, I won't let that stifle my abilities. So, initially, I started my channel, with no videos because I was actually just watching natural hair journeys and I was going on this natural hair journey for a second time for my second big chop. And I was just, kind of learning. And then I started a channel so I could keep up with people who were giving me help with my natural hair. And then it just turned it from there to me really reaching out and talking to people, sharing my story via comments. And they really, gave me a lot of encouragement and a lot of love and a lot of, just some encouragement that I really, really needed at that time as I was still struggling with, understanding what had happened to me and, how it had changed so much in my life for me. So pardon me if I look down because I have some notes here. And I'm just going to glance down every once in a while. But I chose that username, being that I just felt so blessed to have survived because I remember in the year it happened in 2005, there were a few other people who actually were hit as pedestrians as well in my city, and they actually did not make it. There were little kids that did not make it. And I had to look at it as me being blessed enough to make it because, I was just having a difficult time with this because I had so many plans for my life. I feel like I started making these plans, started wanting to go back to school, wanted to do this, wanted to do that. And things had a different outcome and a different turnout after I was hit. I was in, physical therapy and it was just a whole lot of different things, and I suffered an injury to my spine. It's a whole lot of things that I won't go into at this moment, but it's a lot of medical things, and I'm still going to the doctors and everything now, just trying to get everything back in order. And this happened in 2005, so this was not just yesterday, but it still has a long-term effect. And I'm really just learning, a lot more about myself, and I feel like this experience helped me to learn a lot more about myself and learn my strengths, what my real strengths really were. The things I thought were my strengths were so far from it because it became me being a person who could speak to someone else and encourage them and let them know that no matter what the struggle is today, tomorrow can be a better day. We need to wake up and we can put our best foot forward, and we have to keep on dreaming and believing no matter what. And I know that for me, when this happened, I felt like my whole life was just crushed to pieces. I'm gonna be honest and say that. I just was so lost for a long time. I was just, wake up. And it was like routine to just get through the day. But I never really, really imagined, that I would really come full circle and understand what happened to me, why it happened, because I was actually hit by a driver who obviously was careless. And after this accident happened, he never looked back, he never called, he never came in, he never said how you feel, do you need anything, he never asked me anything, he never spoke another word to me. Matter of fact, I never saw him again, and that was hard to fathom because it's like, if I hit someone with my car, I think I would have the decency enough to check in on them, say hi, say, how you feel, anything, because I have had so many things that were affected by this accident. And it was crazy for someone to just do something so callous and not take a second look or take a moment to think about it, and just want to see how that person is doing, and it was crazy. And I really had to come to grips with that because it was like when he hit me, he didn't, physically take my life. I didn't die. But a part of me was dying on the inside because I was so angry at what happened and at the person. And I realized I had to let that go because that was not going to help me at all. And I was angry with this person because I was like, they get to live their life and have their life how they want to have it. I'm affected by this. Everything for me changed. Every plan changed. Everything had to be changed. And, they didn't have to worry about all that. I did. But then I'm like, at the end of the day, it's like they have to live with what they've done, and it's like the law of reciprocity. He's going to have to reap what he sowed on, on that note of, injuring someone and not looking back and not saying how they were doing or anything like that. And I didn't want to give any more of the days of my life over to being angry or being hurt or being upset about it. I just had to pick myself up and, say, like, these are the cards I'm dealt. I'm taking my cards and I'm going to run with them and I'm going to make it the best game I ever played in life. Don't just sit back and accept, defeat, because that's what I was nearly doing, accepting defeat. And I was not going to accept defeat at the hands of any man, any person, because God made me so much stronger than just accepting what could have been defeat, what could have been my demise, what could have been me just sitting back saying, you know what, I give up, but I didn't, and I'm not going to give up, and I'm going to continue to press forth and move forward. And I share all this to just encourage someone else because, you may not be hit by a car. Sometimes it feels like life is the car that hits you when things happen to us badly and, we struggling and we going through different things emotionally, physically, sickness, whatever is going on with us. But I'm just asking that, if it's that way with you, then just stand in prayer and just keep believing and just trust in God, and stay strong within yourself, because I know for me it was a big, big battle. Not to be angry, not to want to go to confront this person and just give them my, a piece of my mind. But then I said I had to go to God to find that peace of mind that I was lacking because I was so angry. I couldn't live joyously and be happy. Because I had to stop and rejoice and say, well, thank God I'm still here, because I know I could have well been dead, could have well been paralyzed completely, could have well been, a lot of things. And I have some disabilities that stem from this now, but I'm not going to let that stop me from living the life God intended me to live. And I know that this was just the stepping stone for me to open up, really become real with myself and say, you know what? This may have happened, but this is not it. Like, this may have happened, but this does not define you. This is not who I am. This is not going to stop me from being who God intended. I've always loved to volunteer and help others and make a difference and be a difference and want to see that difference. So I fight for the difference every day. And I thank God for the ability to still get up and do that. And I do it on a daily basis. Right now, I am not, 100% at health, and I probably never will be 100% at health. But 98% of the time, it's just a way to just get up and try. And that's all I can do each day is get up and try my best and do my best and be the best I can be, and not let this affect who I desire to be in life. This does not, that moment didn't define my life. It actually helped me to redefine who I was as a person, because I was always like this same person. But I think after everything that happened, I just kind of started reaching deeper in myself, and I realized that I was much stronger than I thought I was. I would fight much harder than I thought I would ever fight. Had gained so much more courage and believe in myself more after this. So I know that this happened, that I may learn to believe in myself more, because I was a lot of times doubt myself, didn't think I could, make anything happen with my words or with whatever. And I've learned to just use my words and use my writing and just different, venues of expressing myself. And I have been able to just reach out to people and touch people in different ways. And I'm just so blessed to be able to do that. And it's like we really just learned a lot about myself on this journey, because for me, this was a journey, because being 20 years old, having something like that happen and having everything that you ever worked for and tried to do just ripped away from you because you can no longer physically do these things. It's like, it's a big, a big situation. If anybody ever faced anything on a similar level, then they can feel what I'm saying, and it was super hard to just pick myself up. And for a few years, like I kind of just felt defeated, and I didn't say it to people. I didn't let nobody see it, but I felt defeated. And it was just me continually praying and staying in the word and just reading and just keep on believing in myself. And one day I was able to, just really lift that off myself. It's like they always say, cast your cares on God. And I had to really learn to cast my cares, to let go and let God, because I knew I alone, with my own strength, I can't do anything. But it's with the strength of God every day that I'm able to get up and just function as regular and as normal as I possibly can, and just to get as much done as I can, and just to do everything that, I set out to do that day. And it's so much more than just me. This is not a me situation. This is not an I situation. This was God intended, because I knew that if it was counting on my strength every day to get up and get things done, like as much stuff that I try to get done, I know nothing would get done. But it's through the strength of God that I get these things done. It's through God that I was able to really see, to let go of the anger, because that anger was not healthy. It was not helping me. It was not going to bless anybody. I could not be a blessing or be blessed if I'm going to hold on to a grudge, to the animosity, to whatever I felt towards that person. And daily I pray for this person, because I know that, they may not have intended to do what they did, but at the end of the day, you have to really just examine everything that you do as a person and really just, get it together. And I feel like, maybe this was their wake up call, because if they were intoxicated, maybe you won't drink anymore. If you were under the influence of anything, maybe you've turned your life around, and that's what I look for in that, in this situation. And I just say all of this just to say to someone else who's watching, who may feel discouraged or defeated or whatever they're feeling, I just say this to say, don't give up, because I didn't give up. This has been a long time coming, being able to openly speak about it, without feeling so much, pain on the inside about it, and I just had to pick myself up and say to myself, this is something that I need, that I can share with other people, and I want to empower someone else to not feel powerless, but be powerful in God. Don't feel defeated. Just get up on your feet and keep it moving, because God don't want you to sit back and just, take this and say, well, this is it. This has happened. I give up. I throw my hands up. I couldn't throw my hands up. Only time I throw my hands up is to throw them up in praise, because I cannot throw my hands up and throw in the towel when I know, that God is not finished yet. And I've really learned my strength. I've really come to see myself, in a whole different light, and be confident and be comfortable. And I've always tried to love everybody, and I still believe in that, loving everybody and being nice to everybody and being a friend and empowering and encouraging and praying and whatever is necessary. But I had to come to grips for myself. This wasn't for this person to feel better about themselves, because it was for me, because I knew that I was so angry for so long, because I felt, why did this happen to me? That was a question I feel like I had, why didn't I just die? Why am I still here? And I had to realize to myself, instead of saying, why did this happen? Like, why not me? Because I feel like it was for me to be stronger, for me to have that strength, for me to use my true giftings. Not just what I thought were my giftings, the physical, things that I could really get it, do that, required me to, have a lot more, a lot better health than what I have. But I have to just persevere and press forth and know that, I'm going to make it and it's going to be all right. So I want to say thank you. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you. And I hope you were encouraged. I hope you were inspired. I hope you were moved. I hope you stopped, took a moment to praise God. Thank Him for where you are. Thank Him for where you come from. Thank Him for keeping you from what could have been. And thank Him for everything. And, just thank yourself for believing in yourself and strengthening yourself daily. Because I know every day is a struggle. And we're going to struggle from day to day. But it's up to us, to continue on pressing forth towards the goals and not letting anyone or anything stop us. Like not feeling stifled by our disabilities, but know that those disabilities become our greatest abilities. I thank you and I love you all for watching. Be blessed.